Hey there, dear friends and thoughtful adventurers. We have trouble here. Trouble in Pathfinder Kingmaker, you say? Yes, trouble. Valerie is in a really bad mood, and we need to talk to her. I think that she's in the main square. Something is developing here, and I think it will be an adventure. We'll take Val on board again, together with... I think we'll leave Amiri at home then. We'll see. Could be a cool new opportunity. I think Valerie was around the corner here. Hey there! Glad to see you. She nods at you cordially. We need to talk. You've been acting strange lately. If you're going to bring up that scene in the throne room, don't waste your breath. Evil completely deserved that speech. I know you had a fight with a storyteller and you yelled at Lindsay. The storyteller, what business of his if I have anything left from the order? Does he imagine? I'm still carrying around Shellin's radiant face as a souvenir, and as for Lindsay, she knows full well how her constant babbling about her book irritates me. Why did you think that pasquinade next to the tavern entrance was about you? Who else could it have been about? That scribbler used to never leave me alone, dogged my heels asking questions whenever I appeared on the street, and now... Valerie stops angrily and looks away. The captain of the guard said you were taking it out on random people. Valerie narrows her eyes. So the captain of the guard thinks I'm incapable of carrying out my duties to you and your subjects. Perhaps he should change his armor for a judge's mantle. He's so ready to declare such verdicts. Listen to yourself. Why all this bile? I want to help you. Valerie twists her lips and looks away as if she wants to end the conversation. We'll wait. When the girl starts talking again, her voice sounds soft. Please forgive me, mumbled Khan. I understand your worries. My behavior over the last few weeks has indeed left much to be desired. I don't know why I'm doing these things. You simply run out of patience. That sometimes happens when you're surrounded by idiots. Yeah, I mean, what can you say, eh? Lindsay thinks you're concerned about the scar. So typical of her. A superficial opinion, a superficial conclusion, Valerie sighs. Forgive me. It's difficult to admit I was wrong, and scatterbrained Lindsay's apparently right. The girl hesitates, lifts her hand, and touches the scar on her face. Since it appeared, it's like the world around me has changed. Whenever I went before, my admirers, followers, and bards used to follow me around. And now it's like I'm invisible. Worse, I see how those I talk to, trying hard not to look at the scar. It's like it undid me completely. Valerie stops again, absently running the tips of her fingers over the ugly scar on her face. She finally pulls her hand from her face and looks at you. I've never seriously imagined what would happen if I lost my beauty. I thought my actions would speak much louder than my appearance, but now I'm having doubts. In this and in everything else, I keep telling myself. Well, you've always said that beauty isn't really important. Are you changing your views now? Valerie looks at you pensively for a few moments, then shakes her head with determination. No! If I'm to break when someone looks at me askance, after everything I've been through, it means I've never actually been worth anything. I may have have stayed with the Order and lived meekly by Shellin's orders. Ugh! Valerie straightens her shoulders and looks around with determination. I shouldn't have wasted time on these useless thoughts. I promise that you won't be bothered again by complaints about me. Except perhaps from those who truly deserve a harsh response. The girl nods to you. Thank you for this conversation. I knew you would support me. Wait. Was that all? Really? How are things with the storyteller and Lindsay? Valerie chuckles. Satisfactory. It appears that the storyteller has thought it best to leave me alone. I do not mind at all. Lindsay, Valerie shrugs her shoulder. I expect I'll never have any influence over her inappropriate enthusiasm about her book. Yeah. Okay, good. See you later. That was really all of it. That was really all. And now, what are we going to do now? There's tons to do, of course. Like, when in doubt, we can just go to the Varnhold Vanishing. But there is more. There is more. We have Ancient Curse Path 4 coming. We can build Desna Shrines. Yeah, that's all Kingdom quests. We need something that we can do while we wait for other things. And... yeah, we've made this happen. I think we'll visit the Artisans of the Camellands. So let's travel a bit. And not with her, but... that's the Capital Tavern. That's out of here.
I'm always ready.
Your Grace. Yeah, your Grace. Your Grace. Yeah, we don't really have many things here. Quite an honor. Yeah, we're greeted everywhere.
In due time.
The most loved tiefling overall. Come on now, let's go out there to the Camellands. And to our city in the Camellands. And then pick up the people there. So, southern Null marches. Where have we been building? There's the Camellands. And there should be a city somewhere. Did we have a city there? No. Actually not. Or did we? This is so weird. I think we built a city here, but... yeah. Let's just go to South Nullkeep and see what happens if we visit there. Right, because we don't have a city in the Camellands, I'm pretty sure. South Nullkeep, I remember.
Adventures can wait.
And that might be also the trigger, so to say. That is what we've built, and we'll see what comes from that.
I'm there.
I mean, it looks like the other city completely. Hello, trader. Citrin, green quartz. No. We'll keep the greens. Do away with a long spare.
I do what I must.
There's a house where we can get into. Anyone here?
I'm off.
No. Leo's smiling at us. Aha, there is someone. A young woman catches your eye. She looks like she has come from far away. She approaches with a dancing gait and addresses you, speaking in an unfamiliar drawl. May the perfect human protect you. I'm happy to meet you, O worthy one. My name is Shainia, but you may simply call me the Tulip. As all the best of my friends do, ever since the sun rose today, I've had a feeling that I shall take part in a grand encounter, one that shall change our fates forever, and lo, it is so. Praise be the perfect human for this gift he has bestowed upon these eyes that see the future. Who are you? I am a traveller from the impossible kingdoms of Vodra. I was led here by the will of the gods, by my love of amazing adventures, and by the promise of inescapable retribution uttered by my former husband, who has since become a revered sage and a dead man. I never doubted that my path would bring me to a most worthy ruler, one who would help me, and now you stand before me. And so we meet. What next? You, O worthy one, can help me find my calling. I am beset by doubt. What if by choosing the path of a master smith, I am making a terrible mistake? After all, I, Shinia the Tulip, have seen many wonders, the likes of which your humble realm has never heard of, and I wish to recount them, but alas, I cannot write in your language. For this reason I require a writer, and a worthy one. I have witnessed Master Chockheck over emptiness in tattoos, and a human grew out of them, for these patterns were so intricate and deep that the ink became more important than the flesh. Trust me, for I have woven the tale to these events myself. Perhaps I have been destined to become the muse of a great writer. If a worthy one you find a suitable scribe for me, I shall pay you back handsomely my wisdom and advice. Lindsay loves stories. You can talk to her. I am grateful, O worthy one. I shall relate to you the story of my ancestor Vubalak. Let us see if she is nimble enough to write it all down without omitting any of the colourful details. I greet you, young Lindsay. They say that you're writing a book. That is most fortunate, for I can embellish it with a few stories that I've lived through during my adventures. Once I met a monk from the House of Perfection. He was an ascetic and hadn't eaten for 4 whole years. Hold on, 4 years? Are you sure that he ate absolutely nothing? Maybe it was, well, you know, some sort of moderate fasting? More like a diet, like when you do eat, but only a little bit. No. Why you think that? Breaking his ascesis would have been a shameful weakness. He did not eat at all. The people revered him as a pious and enlightened man, whose spirit was very strong. But I, as soon as I met him, suspected that he might be a liar. So I decided to expose him for what he truly was. Wait a moment, 4 years? That's impossible. If I skip breakfast and dinner, my stomach hurts so badly I can't even walk. It's really hard to believe that the monk could spend a whole 4 years like... Young Lindsay, by paying attention to such unimportant details, you run the risk of missing the heart of the matter. As I was saying, I decided to bring the monk's dishonesty to light. I enlisted the services of a shaitan who owed me a favor. This earth genie stood in front of the monk and sang a song. At that very moment, the hermit's face twitched and a stream of stones erupted from his mouth. Imagine this. He had swallowed rocks to fill up his stomach to save himself the pangs of hunger. Whoa. He swallowed enough stones to fill his stomach and lived? And never had to eat again? As far as I know, it doesn't work like that, of course. I'll write down your story, but I doubt it will enjoy much success. It's just too incredible for our provincial audience. With a guilty smile, Lindsay turns away. Yeah, I mean, we'll remain silent. Perhaps I'm not as good at telling stories as I thought. After all, putting the events of the past into words is not quite the same thing as witnessing them. Perhaps I chose wrongly when I decided to become a muse. Until I can answer this question, I shall remain true to the calling I've always pursued, weaponsmithing. If in your kindness you could indulge me once more, and grant me a workshop in these lands, then I swear to you I shall make you... I shall make for you truly miraculous weapons, the likes of which these lands have never seen. But for now, let me tell you a story that our conversation reminded me of. Okay. This truthful story was divined for me by a woman who had eyes on the palms of her hands. Once upon a time, the sorcerer Maka Abikara decided to become immortal. He started living his life with such purpose and determination that his essence would be imprinted on all of his future incarnations. Maka studied the arts and became a great conqueror. He consumed the flesh of his enemies and servants to gain their strength. At a feast, Maka once swallowed a whole tiger, and the beast's rage and hunger burned in his veins until, consumed by it, he ate himself. Years went by, and a young prince by the name of Purusav Vagbda destroyed Maka's empire, slaying all of his generals. For Purusav was a reincarnation of Maka, bent on restoring the empire to its true glory. Eventually, Purusav was defeated in battle, and his empire died with him. But it was Maka Abikara who spawned the terrible race of Rakshasa, running, cunning beasts. Half human and half animal, trust me, for I have met these creatures many times. Maka always dreamed of leaving a mark on the world, and he did, but not in the way he expected. It was not on the battlefield that his name became immortalized, but in bed, surrounded by concubines. Each may be mistaken in choosing their own path, even the wisest of all. Perhaps I am destined to be your advisor, O most worthy one, or your lover. Go now, for I need to be alone to think upon my words.
What's the hold-up?
Interesting. Shania is happy to see you, O worthy one. Rest your legs and listen to my stories. That is if you have nothing more important to do, such as assisting me in a delicate situation. Shania gives you a sly wink. A delicate situation? The Woodrani proffers a small scroll. This was written by my father. It was meant for a family that has lived for centuries near the home of my relatives in Absalom. Life has scattered us all across Golarion, but we never gave up hope of reuniting with those we once knew so well. My father asked me to pass this letter to a member of his fine family, if I should ever happen to stumble across one. As I've recently discovered, one of them lives nearby. The noble Hasuf trades in your capital. I confess I'm too nervous to meet him. I fear that my anxiety will cause me to behave inappropriately, and I may disgrace myself for it. Would you assist me in fulfilling my duty and deliver him this letter? I do not believe that my heart can be at peace until this letter is delivered. One cannot be a master when beset by such distraction. Vidra. Do we enjoy having Vidra in her hands? In our lands? This is a wondrous land. You have such strange cuisine and kobolds, incredible creatures. We do not have them in Vudra, and those insolent creatures, squirrels. I've never seen such fierce creatures. But this land lacks order. The gods granted Vudra castes. You have none here, and that is why there is no order. For when you meet a member of the lowest caste, you know that they only barely deserve to be born human. In their previous lives they were animals, or maybe even vile things like kobolds, who are lower than even the lowliest beggars. Trust me, for I have more than once faced their wicked nature. Whereas when you encounter a member of a higher caste, be he a Padaprana warrior, or a Raja as you and I, that signifies that in our past lives we were pious and noble, that our words were strong and true. It is that understanding that these lands lack. Tell me of Vudra, of the kingdoms of 1,000 wonders. Where should I begin? Your homeland. Her eyes glisten and her movements become so smooth, as if she's beginning to dance. It takes her a moment to stop herself. Vudra is a land of wonders never seen in your realm, as witnessed by the 10,000 lines of Misravruta Brahmodya, as recorded by the wise Ballast Strin from the words of the goddess Lika. Vudra is 50,000 years old. That means that it is far older than the rest of the world, which grew up around Vudra to become its outer mantle, like shells and weeds grow upon the bottom of a ship. It's the land of genii, monks, wondrous beasts, and gods, of course. Vudra is home to thousands of gods. While in other lands they worship mere dozens. The perfect human is the head of the pantheon. He is called Irori, the master of masters. Among the gods he is as a Maharaja, ruling Vudra and all its Mahajanapadas, or kingdoms as you call them. Each kingdom has its own Raja. The wealth and glory of even the feeblest among them is such that would make even the wealthiest of your rulers rage in envy. Trust me, for I was once the Rani myself. You are a ruler? Yes, I am of the Raja caste, although I've lost all my lands. Rajan speaks. In a sing-song manner, as if she were reading a ballad of verse. I once distributed an ancient city of the dead, one that lay hidden deep in the jungle. But keep quiet. A great evil returned with me to my kingdom. The macaques of Sikari, disease and rabid, swarmed the land. They rolled like an enormous wave, engulfing and destroying everything in their path. They called this horror the Crimson Wind. My warriors went forth boldly, but were overrun. The walls of my palace steadily absorbed their attack, but in the end they turned to dust. I was preparing to die, but the Red Wind suddenly fled in terror. Banished by a strange traveller, he was of Anara, half man and half monkey, and he wore the orange robe of a priest. I wished to thank him, but he had little interest in my treasures. He offered me to play the wise man's game of Barmy, and if he won, then I would have to give him my throne. I agreed, for how could I say no to my savior? He easily outwitted me, hiding 4 pieces up his sleeve, while I only managed to brush one off the table and stash another one in my pocket. I ordered my guards to seize the Vanara and put him in chains, as I had no wish to give up my throne. But by dawn, the monk had fled his prison. He'd used his tongue to lick a hole in his manacles. I knew then that the monk was Ragdia, the monkey god, a sage, a pretty thief, and the lover of 100 brides. Trust me, for I have met many gods and know of what I speak. I gave Ragdia my throne along with my apologies and set out to wander. What? You've talked about the treasures of your homeland. How would one go about trying to find them? A sly smile crosses the Vudrani's face. Greed is a dangerous thing. Have you ever heard of the consortium of Aspis, O worthy one? It's a union of the greediest merchants of all Chelyx. The head of the consortium in Vudra learned of an abandoned palace of the priestess Chaya, rumored to be filled with fabulous riches. He hired guides and porters and set out for the palace. The treasures they found there exceeded their wildest expectations, but their robbery had not gone unnoticed. They had awakened an evil spirit that sped towards them, taking the form of a white cobra. The Aspis realized that they would pay dearly for their greed and ran as fast as they could. The foolish Vudrani who had helped them ran as well. They built ships and fled their homes. Many turned to piracy, and you can find them still in the protectorate of the Black Marquis, now known as the Mandagara League. Woe is the fate of thieves and outcasts. Others settled in Kaermarga and Varesia. It was they who took the pyramid box from the palace and hid it from the consortium. This box is covered in the finest oil and carried by dead men, and inside the box lives the child goddess. Trust me, for the child goddess spoke to me once and foretold that you and I were destined to meet. The Vudrani hope that the deity's protection will save them. But it's this box that the evil spirit seeks. It has since transformed it into a demonic ship, and it comes into ports by night. Sailors who look like crocodiles search the towns, and the ship is gone by dawn. There will come a day when the ship finds Kaermarga's port, and the Vudrani will pay dearly for the greed. Vudra knows how to protect its treasures, and it's best not to seek them, O worthy one. Okay, let's talk about this another time. And you. I have to go. Until we meet again, O worthy one, it shall happen sooner than you think. The perfect human has told me. My goodness. Deliver the letter to the merchant in the capital. Yeah. I think we'll do that. This is really a bit weird. She's really a bit weird.
There.
Yeah, it's us, the Baron himself. Okay, let's deliver this stuff to Hasuf. And we'll see what he makes of it. That's surely a story. And another story, and another story, and yet another story.
Adventures can wait.
Let's travel!
I need to catch my breath. I decree.
Okay,
we set up camp.
let's rest once. And we'll travel on. Oh, Mungok. Mungok's threatening us. Okay, let's get to the main square. There must be Hasuf. We will give him the letter and see what happens, and then we'll have a look if we can solve the problem with Mungok this time. That's really a terrible problem. We should have fought him.
In due time.
Another one for you, Hasuf. She claimed that your families know each other. As soon as you finish speaking, Hasuf snatches the letter from your hands and immediately breaks the seal, quickly running his eyes along the lines. His face grows pale. That's his wife, right? And his hands clench. He takes his time, ripping the letter into tiny pieces, enjoying the process. Damn that disgusting wretch and that entire family. They decide to send me a letter, as though I don't know that only poison trickles from their mouths. So calming down a bit, Hasuf turns to you. You probably did not know what was in the letter. All the better. You shouldn't burn yourself with a feud between families living on the opposite sides of the world. You did your part, and I'm grateful to you, at least for caring to deliver this letter to me. Though it was written by traitors, your intentions were poor. Of that, I'm certain. Okay. Okay, man. We should tell her about Hasuf. Yeah, you know what? We will tell her in the next episode. This has been a lot of traveling. Not too much action. I hope next time we'll get to more action. Have a great time until then. Happy gaming. This is Manuel Khan signing out. See you soon. And have a great time until then. Happy gaming.